Welcome to the channel. Today I have a celebrity guest. This is my son Joey, and he's going to be doing a Boston butt on the smoker. So let's see what you do first, son.
All right, so this is a Boston butt. It was on sale at Harris Teeter, about $1.97 a pound. This is a bone-in Boston butt, which means that there's still a bone in here. You can see it right there. And so what we're going to do first is we're going to use yellow mustard as a base to go on there. So you're just going to squirt that on there, and then we're going to just rub it all over the Boston butt. You're going to make sure that you pull up and get down in the different parts there. There's different flaps going on. Rub that real good. Mom, try that bottle, and we'll get you to let's do the underside. There you go. Good. So what this is going to do is this is going to create a base. You're not going to eat this and go, this tastes just like yellow mustard. What's going to happen is it's going to create a base for our rubs that we're going to put on there. It's going to help them stick to it. So I'm going to make sure this is all rubbed in really, really good. And then you're good to go. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add some of our rubs. Mom, grab the Honey Hog Barbecue. This is a rub that I really like. It's from the Meat Church guy, and we're just gonna, just sprinkle it. Use the spoon side. Use spoon side, yeah. And just real liberally over it. That's good, yeah. Okay, do the same thing here. We'll pull that up. Really get down in there good. This is a little bit of a sweeter taste, but I do like it a lot. We're going to do the same thing on the side here. Now some people will inject, and I've done that before. You can inject it with your favorite. We're doing North Carolina barbecue, so I usually use a vinegar base, but today I'm not going to inject. I wanted to try one without it because these rubs are really, really good. I'm going to pat that down in there. Get that in there. Good. This side here. Good. Okay, and then I'm actually going to double it up, and I'm going to use the Holy Gospel all-purpose rub as well. And so these are great products.
You get these
I get these at the Ace Hardware store.
Okay.
Sells these. You can also order them off the Meat Church website.
It smells good.
We're going to put this one pretty thick. So this is going to help us get that nice bark consistency right there that we want on the Boston butt, also known as a pork shoulder. Same thing here. We're just going to keep putting it on there nice and thick. Don't be afraid to put it on there thick. Most of the time, people don't get the bark that they want onto the outside because they didn't put the rub on there enough. And so we're going to make sure we don't have that problem. Good. Okay. This side here. All right. Good.
Right here on the end.
Yeah, end piece. All right, and so now what we're going to do is we are going to take this to the Pit Boss smoker, and we're going to put it on there at 225 to 250 degrees, depending on your smoker, and we're going to let that sit 1 hour per pound. So this is 7.5 pounds. So we'll let it sit there for 7.5 hours ish. Depends on how it cooks. And one question that often comes up is which direction do you put it? We're going to always put a Boston butt fat cap or fat side down on the bottom. Numerous reasons, I don't know all of them. One of them is it's a little more forgiving. So if your fire gets away from you, you've got fat that is going to stop the flame from damaging the meat. It's got a little buffer there, makes it a little bit easier. So yeah.
All right, well, we'll head outside.
So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get our Pit Boss smoker up to temperature. So the first thing we need to do is we need to prime, make the auger move the pellets down into the burn cup. Once we get that going, you'll see a big plume of smoke. You're going to leave the lid open for that and allow it to get started. Once it's started, we'll set our temperature, and we will set it at 225 degrees. So get a good solid 225 degree smoke rolling, and we are ready to start cooking. Before we put it on, I'm going to take these meat thermometers and I'm going to put it in the side of the Boston butt. I'm going to find that bone that I pointed out earlier and stick that probe right underneath it. Once we stick that in, that's going to give us a good center core temperature. And then what I also like to do is I like to take a second one from the other end and just find another place to put it. They're going to have a degree temperature plus or minus 5 from each other, but it gives me a better idea of what the temperature is of the entire Boston butt. So here we are about 1 hour into the smoke, just doing a quick check real quick. As you can see, the outside is already starting to firm up just a little bit. But remember, folks, if you're looking, it ain't cooking. So keep that thing closed as much as possible. All right, so we are about 5 hours into the smoke, and this is what we're looking at right now. So you can see this bark is forming up real nicely on there. And what's happening now is we're at almost 160 degrees. And so you can serve pork at 165, 170 degrees, but that doesn't mean it's done. So a pork shoulder, you want to push through that. But what's going to happen over the next hour is going to get into what's called the stall. And the fat on the inside of the Boston butt is now rendering down and moving out. It's actually cooling the inside. That fat, as it renders, it creates a cooling process. Literally, it has the meat sweats. And so it's going to hold that temperature around 160 to 170. It's not going to move for the next hour. And once all that fat renders down, it's going to jump and start moving pretty quickly after that. And so once we get to 195 as our temperature that we want, we'll be ready to pull it off. So if you're ever smoking one, you're wondering why it's stuck, wait for an hour, and all that fat will render down on the inside, and then it'll start warming back up, and it'll be ready to go.
All right.
It's ready.
He has to prep it.
So how long did it take?
11 hours, I'm pretty sure.
Normally Joey uses his gloves and these claw tools that he has at his house to break apart the Boston butt because it is very hot, but he kind of had to make do at my house. I didn't have his tools, so he did a great job. I'm just so proud of him, and he's a good cook, and this turned out absolutely delicious. Let me get a fork. All right, taste test. It's good. So tender. It was a great long day of food, family, and fellowship, and I just am so thankful for my family. And I'm going to leave a link below. Joey is a pastor at Renovation Church, and I'll link to one of his sermons. He's an excellent speaker. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a very blessed day.